hit, I've actually got to cut out the down spacers and flip them around to the inside and put them on the inside and weld them back in. So we'll probably start on that next, and then in a matter of days, like I talked about earlier, I've got an appointment to put that rear end in the car. So anyway, we'll skip ahead to working on the Camaro. Just got done loading up all the Moser 9-inch stuff in the back of the SUV here. Drop it off at Mid-America Customs, and then they'll have it all ready to go when we drop the Camaro off in a few days. Welcome back. So, don't think we've got any more fuel leak issues for the time being. Just started it up, haven't looked yet. Let's see, everything is looking dry, so that's a positive. We've got some of those O-rings coming. I'll replace those when I can with the appropriate sized ones. In the meantime, need to get working on making progress towards getting that new rear axle in. I'll show you what I'm talking about once I get the car up in the air. By the way, this is all new. This is my barn. With the help of Blake, Sean, I was able to successfully install a car lift. Yay! So I can do some of this fun stuff myself and make life a lot easier. This is the first time the Camaro's been on this lift, so hopefully everything goes okay in getting it up and not falling anywhere. Camaro's up! Let's get these back wheels off really quick. To show you guys what I'm doing, basically with the existing wheels, I've got plenty of clearance. They're 18 by 10 inch wide wheels and they move around in here fine. There's a little bit of clearance, but when I get the new ones, they're going to be 18 by 11. And the new rear end is going to be narrowed an inch on each side. So these guys have to actually be cut out, and then I'm swapping them, turning them around on the inside there, because otherwise they will hit. I'll kind of show you guys. I don't know if you can try and get my cell phone with the flashlight, but right now the clearance does clear, however, there is not much there. And when you're talking an inch of clearance later, there's just no way that thing is going to clear between the bump stop and the wheel. So we swap it around, should be good. Well, the first one's cut out. Take a grinder and smooth some of that off. Just looking at stuff though, there's not actually a whole lot of clearance between that shock and that spring on the inside. Because any movement closer to the shock, I don't want it to strike that as the shock is coming down. Any closer to the spring, I don't want that to hit that either. So there's not a lot of room, but I think there is enough. What I'm probably gonna have to do is cut out a piece of steel in this shape and just weld it on the inside there. Put the bolts back in and might even grind this down a little bit. And that's why I left the other wheel on too, because there is not a lot of clearance. So I'm just referencing everything based off the other inch that we're going to have with the new set of wheels. And there's not a lot of room in there. I think even above the bump stop may have to be taken away slightly, and that's fine. I can cut that down and I can get some 3M spray that they have that's basically like a Rhino line. In fact, I've already done it to the car previously. When I put the 18s in there, I had to pound in the inner wheel well a little bit and just sprayed some in there, and it seals everything up good. So I think that's going to be in store. I'll grind some of this back as well, cut it off, and then hopefully everything fits. All right, I've got a lot more cut out here. This is more than I've seen in the pictures from other people, but at the same time, everybody's clearance, I'm sure, is different depending on their wheel choice and space available with the narrowed rear. But I think as ugly as this looks, it'll clear a lot better than what was. There is not a lot of space. Cut out the steel bracket to fit on the down spacer. Just fitting it in here, I think it'll be okay. But put it right about there and weld it in, and that should stop on the axle just fine still and serve its purpose. Got clearance to the spring, I'm gonna guess about a 1/2 inch, and then I really hope the shock that's a little bit closer. I'm gonna have to just finagle it in there the best I can and do what I can. We got the piece cut, placed, tack welded in place. Now I'm gonna throw that spacer on, and then I'm gonna drop the suspension. And the reason I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna let the weight of the car sit on everything and compress the shock back here. And I'll be able to check the clearance if the shock's gonna clear this guy or not. I'd rather do that now and find out the hard way if we're wrong, make adjustments as necessary rather than welding it all together and making it impossible to get out of there again. Clearance is good. All the way around, clears the shock, clears the spring. Wheel is good. I checked it at its lowest point, which that point is just sticking out there. It's about 1.25 inches. I can grind that down a little bit further, make it a little closer after I've made the weld, but I think we're in good shape. So I'll weld her in place. I got some underbody coating there to spray on afterwards, and this side should be done. We'll work on the other. All right, first coat of the painting is done. You can get any of this stuff anywhere. I just got it at a local hardware store. I'm using Duplicolor truck bed coating. There's a couple different options. This one was a little more expensive, but it seemed like it was a little bit more durable, which is kind of what I was after. You can see it doesn't match. Most of this is dirty. That's obviously fresh paint, but it's already starting to toughen up a little bit, and it's got that texture to it. Essentially, all you want to do anytime you're cutting into metal like this is just to seal it. You don't want the rust getting in the car. Not that I'd try to drive this away from salt especially, but as you guys all know, the car sees rain. So I'm trying to keep it preserved. So keeping a fresh coat of paint on there whenever you've got bare metal showing, probably a good idea. I'm gonna let this dry, throw another coat on it, then I'll throw that bump stop back in, and we'll go ahead and lower it down. That way the sides all be complete, and we'll get to the other side. Got the other side cut, ground down. I've got the other steel piece fabricated around the size of the bump stop. If you guys are wondering how I'm putting these in there, it's easy. I just took a flange, head bolt, and did some tack welds on the outside. Ground it down. I'm gonna put it in place one more time here. Should fit pretty much like this. Once I test fit that, make sure it fits in place. I'm gonna get a little bit of paint on the side I can't reach when I weld it in place there, and then I'll weld it in place and finish painting the rest, and it'll be like the other. After, of course, we do the same thing we did on the other side, and that's drop it down and make sure it clears everything. I think I'll have plenty of room on both sides. So yeah, it's coming along good. Bump stops moved, painted, reattached, installed, checked for clearance. Everything as good as I can make it, and I've got the clearance plus a smidge more than I need for the new rear. So next step, going to Mid-America Customs and getting the new rear put in. Just dropped the car off Mid-America Customs. Should be good to go. They're gonna start working on it, and we'll see what they got later.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Mid-America Customs, putting in the work on the Camaro. Got the 9-inch already in there.
It looks good. It's a nice piece.
Yeah, be a nice upgrade.
Yeah, for sure. Take all the power you want to give to it, and you tear it up. Definitely a good upgrade.
Running any snags yet, or are we good?
Well, so far so good. Let's see. Has there really been, so brake line wise, we'll see how the brake lines and everything route. I think the cables will be okay there. Drive shaft's always interesting on how that's going to lay out, but we might get lucky, we might not.
I'm not sure. I don't remember if I put this on the channel or not, but back when Safe was doing the tuning, he was doing the traction control, and he thought he broke the rear axle, and the torque arm just ended up breaking, and he fixed it. But in the meantime, that hit that and put a nice gouge in the drive shaft. So I knew I was going to have to get at least a modified drive shaft because it'd be a different length. So it kind of just been holding it off until now. So
yeah, it uses a aftermarket speed sensor, so that'll go in the top of the case, just a typical Hall effect deal.
Okay.
Reluctor wheel on the pig itself, really nice. So
Sweet.
we'll pin that in and everything for you into your stock harness. So that won't be too bad, but
Awesome.
yeah, I think so far so good. We'll keep our fingers crossed that all the brakes and everything go on good, but I think we're gonna be all right.
Awesome. I talked to Inland Empire, which is where I got that out of California,
Okay.
and they said from placing the call, they should have it done 3-4 business days tops.
dude, awesome.
So if I need to order a whole new one, if we can't get that done locally, I don't
Yeah.
think we're going to be waiting on it too long.
Okay, perfect.
So I know when I had to measure before, I gave a measurement, and they're like, "Well, was the suspension loaded?" I was like, "No." I'm like, "Well, it needs to be all loaded up." And the measurement.
Basically like sitting on the ground, center of the cap into the tail shaft kind of deal, or into the seal face, and they normally like to see how much output shaft is sticking out past the seal face. It seems to be the normal dimensions we got to give everybody. So
Nice.
yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna make it. She looks good.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear it. I got the new wheels sitting over here.
Yeah.
Tease the audience with those. If I measured everything correctly, it should
Yeah, that's a
match up
stressful
right.
deal. Yeah, right. Because
I know.
offset deal
Dude,
sometimes.
I'll be honest, and there's going to be a video following this one with people's opinion, but I like the old wheels a lot. I just wish they were a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
So I got these custom set, and I did them all for this rear and everything. And the fronts, just the way the offset is, they're like flush with the fender, but when they put the tires on the wheels stick out of the fender just a little on the front. I don't know if I like it, and this is like killing me. So I don't know if I'll end up, because I know there's a place in Michigan, Weldcraft wheels, that can widen wheels too, and I might have my stock ones like widened and swapped back, and I don't know. It's the painful thing we picky people do with cars is throw money at stuff until we don't like it, and then we throw more money at it.
Yeah, and the wheels are just, it's like everything. The wheels make the look of the car. And
I know.
Sometimes you get it right the first time, and sometimes you gotta make a change.
Exactly.
Only one way to find out.
Well, unfortunately, that's the truth. So one thing at a time. I won't bother you guys any more than I already have. Just get out of your hair and let me know if there's anything I do, but thought I'd check in.
Yeah, thanks guys.